is good, good people? You are now listening to another episode of A Wicked Good Time with Danny Foxworth. I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth, and hey, first episode of 2025, so we're going to get right to it. So first thing I want to talk about, as I do with every episode, Carolina Panthers. They finished the season with a record of 5-12, which is a 3-game improvement over their previous year's record of 2-15. You know, if you listen to my earlier episodes, you know I started every episode with basically an airing of grievances with the Panthers and how they just could not get their act together, and Bryce Young was just not that guy, and Chuba Hubbard was not that guy. And both of them made absolute liars out of me. And to that, listen, the apology has to be just as loud as the disrespect. And yeah, Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Chuba Hubbard ran for almost 1,200 yards this year. And Bryce Young, I got to tell you, man, the last 4 games of the season, you could see the game really start to slow down for him. And he really got into his groove, and he was just playing lights out, especially the last 2 games, and especially the last game against the Falcons, which, listen, any day the Falcons lose, an angel gets its wings. So kudos to Bryce Young, kudos to Chuba Hubbard. I will say, though, that defense, something's got to change, because they were not only bad, that defense was historically bad. I'm talking to the point where the defense literally gave up the most points in a single season in NFL history. That is unacceptable. And they're bringing the D coordinator Ejiro Evero back, so I know he's going to be on a short leash, and hopefully they'll make the right acquisitions and the right moves in the offseason to show up the defense, because it's hard to win games when the defense is giving up that many points. But there have been some improvements, and finishing with a 5-12 record, and also on top of that, we didn't finish in last place in the NFC South. So hey, that's a win. So enough Panthers talk. We're going to get into sniffing some candles. So the first candle that I have, bought these 2 candles from TJ Maxx last night. So the first candle is from the Dayroom Candle Company, which is a return guest. I had first candle I got from them was a leather and musk scented candle, and that's still one of my favorite candles that I've sniffed on this podcast. This one is Bergamot and Geranium. So this is fragrance number 0033, vegan soy wax blend, blended with essential oils, poured in California. Burn time approximately 100 hours. So I'm gonna take the top off of this and give it the good old nose test. So it's 2 wicks, and giving it a smell. Ooh, I like this one. It's got a real nice, light, clean smell. You can definitely smell the bergamot notes in this one. Kind of reminds me of, again, going back to my my go-to Cremo body wash, the Italian bergamot scent. It reminds me a lot of this scent. And yeah, this one is definitely going to get a lot of burn time with me. So yeah, Dayroom Candle Company, y'all are 2 for 2. Take a bow. Man, so yeah, this one gets, that first candle gets a passing grade. Now, next story. It's just something that popped up in my head at work the other day that I don't know what made me think of this, but this was around 2008 or 2009. I had taken a day trip up to Myrtle Beach one day, and I stopped to eat at, what buffet was that? It wasn't Krabby Mike's. It was right next to it. Right on Restaurant Row, right at the left. It was Captain Bennett's. Captain Bennett's Calabash Seafood. That's what it was. And man, when I walked in, it was this short, older Asian lady. She was the manager. And as soon as she saw me, she just lit up and she goes, "Oh my God, you look like Walter Payton." Now, mind you, I look nothing like Walter Payton. The only thing I had going for me at the time that could have made me kind of sort of resemble Walter Payton was I had my hair grown out. And that's it. I had it was like a twisty bush. And yeah, for some reason, she thought I looked like Walter Payton, and come to find out she was a diehard Bears fan. She was like, "Oh my God, you look like Walter Payton. What do you be drinking? And you here for the buffet? Okay, I'll take care of everything. You don't have to pay. I'll take care of it." I'm like, "Oh, bet." I'm like, "Thank you." On the inside, I'm like, all right, I don't look like Walter Payton at all, but at the same time, I'm not finna block my blessing. Free is my favorite flavor as well as my favorite 4-letter word. So I loaded my plate up, made multiple trips, got loaded off the crab legs and the shrimp and the fish. And man, it was a good time, man. There was some good eating going on. And then whenever she gave me my last refill, she was like, again, I'll take care of you. You don't have to pay for anything. I got you covered. Matter of fact, before you leave, I'm going to give you a to-go plate and you can fill that plate up too. I'm like, oh, I tell you talk about right place, right time. So I got that to-go plate, filled that joker up, and took it on back to the house. And it had that calabash for breakfast the next day. And as soon as and she gave me a hug, and then whenever I left, she was like, "Go Bears." And that was that. So shout out to her wherever she is. I hope she's having a great life. And again, salute to her. So while we're on the subject of food, the next candle that I'm going to review that I also got from TJ Maxx is, this one actually caught my attention because of the presentation. DW Home Richly Scented Candle. The scent is Everything Bagel. And right off the rip, the lid was the thing that caught my attention with the poppy seed and the sesame seed presentation. So I was like, man, I think I'll give this one a go. This one was actually on the clearance rack. This was $5. So shout out to TJ Maxx. So I'm going to pop this one open and we're going to give this one a good old nose test. One wick. Oh, no, man, I'm not feeling this one at all. I'm not feeling this one at all. Oh, Lord. Yeah, it's got, I can't describe it. It's almost got like an onion essence to it. And if you know me, you know I absolutely detest and abhor onions in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So, yeah, this one gets a failing grade for me. Man, I was on such a good winning streak with smelling these candles. But, boy, I tell you, this car went straight in the ditch. Yeah, me no likey. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get it. Maybe you're into bagels. I like bagels, but I don't like the scent of this. And there's no way I could light this in this house and say, yeah, this is a pleasant scent. Nah, it ain't for me. It might be for you, but ultimately it ain't for me. Man, hate to bring the show down on such a bad note, but listen, you can't win them all. And well, that's been another episode of A Wicked Good Time with Danny Foxworth. Make sure you like, download, and subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can find my YouTube channel at Danny Foxworth 843. There you can find all the video versions of this podcast as well as my other podcast, Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth, which there will be a new episode coming this week. And not A Wicked Good Time. Then there's my baseball podcast, At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. And also my other podcast, Growing Up Low Country with Liz and Danny. And there will be a new episode for that coming this week. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave an email. Go to my email at foxworthpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure that you leave the name of the podcast in which you have an inquiry or a comment for in the subject header. And yeah, that's it. This has been another episode of A Wicked Good Time with Danny Foxworth. And until next time, y'all be good. Keep it lit.